Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Spirit Side. I'm Paul James Caiden, and today on the show, we are going to be talking about contacting spirits with special guest Steve Murray. I'm very happy to have Steve on the show. I learned a lot from this man, from his books and DVDs and certificate programs, which we're going to talk about a little bit later on. But nonetheless, welcome to the show, Steve, and thanks for coming on.
Yeah, hey, Paul, how you doing? The old cliche, I'm glad to be here, which is true. We've been talking about this for about a year, so we finally we're hooked up now. So anyway, yeah, good to be here.
Yeah, it's been a little while. We had everything got delayed with your you had some DVDs coming out that got delayed with COVID, and boy, I'll tell you.
Yeah, that's true, and I think we go back. I've been writing books, DVDs, and stuff like that, teaching for about 25 years, and I think you've got some of my earlier stuff. I think you started with me a few years back. I don't know exactly, but I know we've been in contact over the years.
Yeah, I think I came across your videos in I think it was maybe 2011, 2012, and
yeah.
I ordered one from Amazon. I was like, hey, I like this guy, and then I found your website, and the rest was history.
yeah, I appreciate it. The first video was, I think, on Reiki and psychic and spirits, 2002, 2003, something like that. I lost track 20 years ago, and Amazon's been on since then. But anyway, it's what's going on with you anyway. I guess you're supposed to ask me the question. Okay.
Yeah, I thought we'd talk today because you are, as you said, you're a Reiki master, you're a psychic spiritualist, an author, a teacher, and I know in some of your earlier works, you said you were a medical hypnotherapist. So just tell the folks a little about yourself and how you got started in all this this kind of work and progressing into like Reiki and mediumship and psychic abilities. It seems like it was a very interesting journey that you had.
Yeah, we don't. I think this podcast is a half hour, but I'll try to do an overview. Basically, the Reiki I got into about 24 years ago. I stumbled upon a lady I had a blind date, met her at a bookstore, and we were standing there. Some lady was an author was giving a presentation. There were some free seats, and she was a Reiki master, Joyce Morse, if I recall her name. She's crossed over, and we listened, and she had a class the next day. I went to the class and signed up and got the first level attunement and the second level, and started studying with different Reiki masters around the country. And there you have it. And it developed. I always had psychic abilities. I always knew things, but it opened up everything. I became aware, and most of my books and DVDs and stream. I don't talk much about my history, but the last book I wrote, to become a 21st century Reiki master, I did open up a whole chapter about my early beginnings. So it's a chapter. So it's interesting on how I stumbled upon Reiki, but I did, and I went on the journey, and I've continued to this day. I'll be 69 years old and in good shape, and I do attribute the Reiki, the energy work, as I call it, and to helping on that level. And then I know you mentioned the psychic abilities and how to contact spirits, which is the topic today. And I do help people. I do contact spirits, and spirits are people that have died and crossed over. And the reason I do that is people need closure sometimes. Sometimes people die suddenly, or things should be said, haven't been said, or goodbyes, some healing. And so when I contact people that have crossed over for the person that needs it, it gives them closure. And closure is healing, basically, and they can move on. But that all came together. Everything seemed to move along the same path: energy healing, the psychic, contact spirits. And again, I always had the ability. I knew stuff was going on, but I never quite knew what it was. I thought everybody had the ability. It's just things that and they happen, and stuff like that, Paul. So it's been a journey. Like I said, I've been doing it 69. I've been doing it for 27, 28 years. So it's you evolve, and the more you do it, and the more I guess better you get at it. I guess you could say, and the more you learn.
Now, how do you feel? I know a lot of people. For me, it's been kind of like a similar journey. That I've always kind of had these strong intuitions, about people or situations, even when I was a little kid. And I had experiences with ghosts and spirits and things of that nature. And as I got older, I felt very, attuned to the angelic realm because of an experience that I had. But I never really got into wanting to, contact spirits, even though it was very interesting to me. And the first time I really delved into it, I was reading a book on spiritism, and I said, this isn't what old time religion kind of told me it was.
Mm-hmm.
And fast forward maybe 3 4 months later, when I was looking on Amazon for things, exercises to build psychic abilities, DVDs and books, and that's when I found some of your stuff, and I saw the one on there, how to contact spirits, angels, and departed loved ones. And I said, you know what? I'm I'm gonna take the chance. I'm gonna order this DVD. I'm gonna take a look at it, and that kind of started my journey of purposely reaching out, to connect with the spirit world. And the thing I've always found, and what I wanted to ask you, in my experience, and just what I sense, I think a lot with mediumship and contacting spirits. A lot of people expect it to fall into the category almost of like fortune telling. When you're, connecting with, departed loved ones or angels, they want some kind of parlor trick, fortune telling, proof somehow. And I've just always found that more for me, they're not really interested in that type of thing. They're interested in helping people, giving counsel, giving closure, giving insight. Now, is it the same for you, or do
Yeah,
you find?
yeah. You're right. You're right. You're correct. As far as contacting spirits for closure, see, basically, if you get the essence down, I'm a healer, and by a healer, I help people help themselves. I mean, even as an energy worker, there's stronger people than I am. Whatever, there's people at different energy levels, this and that. But I, you know, did this to help. As healer is one of the things that would help people heal, because I found in my as a medical hypnotherapist, the energy of people were always left. Somebody would die or cross over, and a father or mother, and they never had the closure. And so I had the ability, so I started doing that when it was needed for my client. Not everybody needs that. I mean, but it did help. And I just 4 or 5 years ago, I was going to do a TV show, a reality show, and I'm doing the contact spirits. And we shot a lot of footage, 10 sessions, live sessions, which is, when you're in front of the camera and you're doing your stuff, and, there's no fakery. I mean, but I'll cut the chase. That show never made it because of various reasons. But I just did a new DVD, which would have some of those sessions I did live. And you see on there where people, the father, lady found out her father was her father, and maybe husband died before to say goodbye to the wife. Types like that. It's just, death, this happens so suddenly a lot of times, and people just they need closure. And closure is so powerful. I mean, closure, it's the end of a chapter and they can move on. Once people get closure, the guilt release, they get a message from their father saying, I love you, I forgive you, whatever. Everybody's different in a sense. The guilt lifts off them, they move on, and healing takes place on all levels, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And again, I do the energy work, which is a physical thing, the emotional. Hypnotherapy was more of emotional. So as a healer, I looked at all aspects, and I was blessed with the ability that I had was able to do that for clients and people. Again, I don't it's not my I mean, it's not my main goal is to do spirit sessions. I do them, but I do teach it also, so other people can do it. So I do have a formula teach because everybody contacts hears from the other side. The challenge is they're not aware of it. They're too involved in day-to-day activities. They're not attuned to it. And interesting enough, I agree with you. To me, being psychic is not reading the tea leaves, the fortune teller. That's not being psychic. Psychic to me is being aware of what's going on in your life on all levels, so you can make the right decisions, do the right things. That's psychic. So, it's people. If somebody wants to be psychic, just to tell people, I guess, what to do, this and that. That's not being psychic. In fact, in my earlier years, I disliked psychics because, as being a medical hypnotherapist, I knew a person could be very psychic and get intuitive, like you used, and they get information on for a person. But the problem is, if they're not clear, the information comes in through their filter. So if for some reason they don't like dogs or they're scared of dogs, and they get information from a person's pet, this is just a little example, and it goes through their filter, they get accurate information, but it goes through their belief system, their filter, it comes out differently. So again, being psychic for everybody is just, as a layman, is just being aware of what's going on in your life, and it's not reading the tea leaves. And so, I have all these tools available, and it depends what the person needs when I have a client. And again, basically, as a healer, I'm a teacher, and I like to teach people these formats because everybody's capable of being psychic. Everybody's capable of being an energy healer. Everybody's capable of contacting a dead friend, relative, if they know how, because the information's out there. You just have to attune to it. And I go back to the cliche, it's like a radio wave. So if you turn on the right station, you get the station comes in clear. But if you don't get the right station, the right wavelength or what have you, it comes in fuzzy. So you and I basically agree on that. And okay, I'll let you speak. As you know, I am a talker, so I'm going to hush up here and let you.
Hey, that's okay. Any stories you want to tell? That's
well, I mean, we could sit here and I got stories. Yeah. I mean, if we want to circle the wagons, I mean, the reason I do teach people, I do have a DVD, new program, How to Contact Spirits. I explain my method. I show examples in real time, and I tell people how to do their own, how to contact people, because I do. If you don't work with, and I say a professional, if somebody knows what they're doing, a medium, I've been to seances and where people have gotten, I wouldn't say possessed, but the spirit will take over because they didn't have the right precautions, the right safeguards. So I got so many stories. So I've witnessed phenomenon, ghosts, this and that, just like you have, and so it's real. But again, if you use the tool once or twice and get the contact spirits and do what you need to do. If you use it not as a toy, as a again, for closure, it's okay if it's needed. And again, most people don't need it, or some people need it and they don't know that they're aware of it. They'll cling to doubt and insecurity and guilt for the rest of their time on this planet.
I like the way you put it in your one video, the earlier, when the contacting spirits, angels, and departed loved ones, that you have a technique where the person connects with the spirit on the other side, and you talk about that in your new DVD too. Just contact, ask your question, and then end the session and go to bed. And somewhere over the next X amount of days, that information will come to you, whether in dreams or sometimes it will just rise up in your consciousness. And I thought that was a really great way to put it, because a lot of times when you're dealing with what we call psychic information, or spirits guiding us and giving us information, it is kind of like that the water bubble that just kind of rises up from the bottom and plops up into the conscious mind, and we think to ourselves, oh gee, I just thought of that, and it's almost something that I think that's so natural. A lot of people just say, well, no, that was just me, I thought of that just came to my mind. But they don't realize that sometimes there may be spirits, loved ones, angels that are giving them guidance. and bringing that information to the conscious mind, you know, over something they've been thinking about, worrying about. And so I thought that was a really, awesome way to put it in that particular video.
Yeah, again, this is my belief, of course. I believe there's nothing new. Everything you need to know, you know. Everything a person needs to know, they know. What the challenge is, it's buried in their subconscious mind filters, or they're not really deal with it. In other words, there's something you know you have to do, forgive somebody or not, whatever's unique with you. But you know that on some level, and you do know that. But once you're ready to receive the information, like the bubble comes to the surface, it comes to your conscious mind, and you're ready. And we go back, the medical hypnotherapy, a lot of times people bury, and when this is pretty common, and people know they bury stuff in their subconscious minds. And why do they do that? They're not ready to deal with it. And again, and it could be, it's a protective, your subconscious mind will protect you mentally, physically, and spiritually till you're ready to deal with it. So if you have something you need to deal with it, but you're not ready with it, it will stay buried in your subconscious mind. But when you're ready, it will float to the surface like a bubble to your conscious mind. And the same thing with spirits. They're with you all the time, and they're trying to contact you. But once you get in tune, it might be a smell, something might move, a picture might move, or you might see a license plate with a favorite number. But it's there. Information's around us all the time. But again, if you're not attuned, if you're not looking for it, or if you're worried about your bills, and I always say, it's hard to be spiritual when you're sick or got bills, you got troubles. It's very difficult to tell somebody, hey, your mother's sick, be spiritual. Well, that's the time you should be, but it's very difficult for a person to be spiritual at that time and be aware of what's going on. So it's a challenge. I mean, it's a work in progress. And again, at 69, I'm still a work in progress. There's things I haven't dealt with that float up once in a while. and sometimes you don't need to deal with it. I mean, as a hypnotherapist, I hypnotize people, go in their subconscious mind, past lives, what have you. And it would come, as a medical, you help things come to the surface, people deal with it. So I agree. It's all there. And we talked about this before, and it's my belief. I believe everything's happening simultaneously, the past, present, and future. And what I mean by that, the vibrations there. So Abraham Lincoln, 150, whatever was around, Jesus was around, but their vibrations are still there. The energy is still there, the vibrations. And if you could connect to that, you could connect with that. But again, some people are naturally gifted, but they're more attuned. So everybody has the ability. And people have different degrees of the ability, but people with less ability sometimes are stronger at these psychic and we talk about contact because they work at it. Because there are methods you can refine your ability and do it. So, okay, I'll stop again here. So many things we talk about. But again, I believe it's happening. So everything's happening. So I guess the point is everything's happening. The information's there. Information's there. You need what you need to know. You just have to tune into it. Just like, you need to know some on Google. So what do you go to Google and you put the stuff in there. So if you want to read something in the universe, you put it in your subconscious mind, your conscious mind, and you dial it and you Google it. So it's the same sort of process in a way. You just put you put the message what you need to know. And I tell you, your listeners, if you need to know something and you repeat it, put in your subconscious mind, your subconscious mind, the answer will come to you. It will come to you because it's there. But again, you have to be ready for the answer and look for it. And so that's one of my beliefs. That's a major. We're all driven. The information's there. Just like the information, I go back to Google. The information's there in Google. Whatever. If you want to find something, it's there. If you want to find something spiritually, it's in the universe. Just to dial in. So I don't know, they Google you, Google Universe, I guess.
Yeah, it is, and it's kind of a shame that, I've always believed that we all have these abilities. It's whether, we're open to it or not, or wanting to tune in or not. And I just think it's to me, we're in kind of similar lines of work, and it's very disheartening to me. You look on the internet, like I was on Facebook today, And I saw all these ads, all these people, learn to be a medium, learn to give your first intuitive reading. We're going to show you how to do this. We're going to show you how to do that. We're going to, show you how to, one guy, pull up the spirits, and you'll be able to, give evidence, and tell people, wear your mother's exact address before she she passed.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, man,
The thing is, when we talk about being psychic, it depends if you want to be psychic, if you want to contact a loved one spirit, or if you want to be, a healer. You have to know why you want to do it. I mean, what's your root cause to do that? So a lot of people want to be and I do say, because I get emails from people around the world for the last one, they want to be a psychic. Well, I say, why do we be a psychic? So we could tell what's going on, tell people what to do, or tell people, so, it's an ego thing. So some people, you have to look at why you want to be a healer, why you want to be a psychic, why you want to help contacts. It has to be a pure thing from the soul, from the heart. Again, I've noticed this a long time, and everybody, and I've been, I guess, everybody's a Reiki teacher nowadays. Everybody is a psychic, and everybody has the ability, like you said, Paul. I got that. But again, when they start, marketing it, this and that, and it's sort of, it's like, if you want to be a psychic and these, I understand what you're saying. I see ads as like, whoa. Because, like I mentioned before, you have to be careful when you're doing this stuff. It's not you got to get the proper teacher. And if a person's a proper teacher, professionalism, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, so be it. I've been doing this for a long time. I see the people out there, like you mentioned, with these courses, this and that, and 2 or 3 experience. You never heard of them before. You could Google me. And I've been around for a long time, Which doesn't make me any better than anybody else. It just means I've seen it all, most of it, and I'm cautious. But again, everybody, I know what you're saying about the ads, the psychic, be a medium. They have a whole, what's that channel? A travel channel. I mean, I'm amazed. Travel Channel. They have a whole thing on ghosts and Ghostbusters and this and that. A whole network dedicated to contacting ghosts and spirits. Travel, I think, is on Travel Channel, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. Network.
Yeah, I seen. I don't know if we have the Travel Channel, but I seen a lot of the trailers of a lot of their paranormal shows and UFOs.
Paranormal, there we go. That's the word.
But I think in today's day and age, it's almost like a lot of teachers are trying to make this kind of doing readings or mediumship seem like it's a Hollywood movie, and I tell people every day, it's just not that way. It's not there as a magic trick to impress. That's
it
not
goes to ego. It's some people. But anyway, it's all good. I mean, there's some good. It is what it is. I mean, this world's evolving, and with the internet, and again, the internet's being aware. We're tuned in, and trying to think. My earlier years, when I was helping people, they said I couldn't. There's always feedback, blowback from people who have different opinions, and so the best thing that I do is I tell people it's in my new 2 movies or videos. It's just Buddha, just question everything. So I mean, don't believe everything I say. Question everything, and whatever feels good for you. Basically, I'm paraphrasing. Is go for it. And if you feel a little intuitiveness, like you mentioned, little wee in your stomach, your gut, your stomach chakra, whatever, gut feeling they call it. If you get that feeling, that means there's something there. Look into it. So whatever I say, don't take my word for it. Investigate, and if you feel comfortable with me, fine. If not, you always find somebody that you feel comfortable with. And that's my philosophy. Just take what I think it's an old. I told you earlier. Take what works for you. I'm a teacher, so I'm going to teach you different things. Everybody does things differently, but I'm going to give you some guidelines and use what works the best for you, and move on. I mean, so that's my philosophy.
Yeah.
The teaching.
I hear that, and I agree. I wanted to ask in these last couple of minutes, what's your take on the tarot? I never read the tarot before, but I started out probably in
Yeah.
1994. I was reading runes, and then I went to doing angel cards, and I actually learned to read the tarot through one of the certificate programs that you offered. I didn't see it recently. I think you discontinued that one, but
Yeah, well, that's interesting. You asked that. Yeah, my first video I made, which the video back then, wasn't DVD or, I shot a lady who was a good tarot reader, Morgan, I don't know her name, but I made two DVD videos, not DVDs, but they were and because I didn't want to be in front of the camera, and I was still a little hesitant about teaching this and that, and putting myself out there for that way. And this was long time ago. And so I did two videos with her, and she was a good teacher. I never, and the tarot, what she told me, and I do believe, the tarot are just, and again, some of your listeners, to me anyway, the tarot is just something for the client to wrap their conscious mind around, because if you could read the cards, you don't need the cards. I mean, I've done readings, blind readings, many years, but they're just cards. So people, again, the client or the person doing the reading for it, they could believe in something. Because if a good tarot reader doesn't need cards, but they need cards to charge the person for a tarot reading. So again, I'm not saying that because of those first two DVDs, videos, I sold thousands and thousands. She was a great teacher, and so there's a lot of people believe in the tarot, and I'm not saying I don't believe it. I just, when I've done readings, I don't need the, it's something, dog and play. So the cards are good. So I don't know what your question was, but I never was a tarot reader. I never taught, but the first two programs I released years ago was with the lady Morgan, and after that I did my own content. So she helped me a lot for confidence in front of the camera. And the tarot's great, and I sold a lot of programs, and helped a lot of people. But again, as far as my cup of tea, I just don't read the cards or the runes, because I don't need to. But again, I guess if I was a tarot reader, I would have the cards and the runes.
Yeah, they're like you said. I kind of started reading runes more for myself, and then as I told people about them, they were like, "Oh, can you give me a reading with those?" And so I started doing that, and then the same with the angel cards, and they're kind of interesting. When you see the pictures, and sometimes they'll jar something in your own intuition that comes out. This kind of interesting information that you normally wouldn't know. But I like what the lady said in the video that you had, that the tarot is a guidance system. It's not there to
exactly
tell your future, tell you what to do. It's there to guide you on the path ahead, so you can make the right decisions. For your own path, your own journey. And I agree with that, with all those things, the runes, angel cards, whatever people are going to use. They're just a guidance system. They're not.
Yeah, they're all fun. I mean, they're all tools. They're all tools, and it's the cards. Been around for I think a lot of thousands of years. They read the bones, the dice, or chicken bone. So all that stuff is a tool to tap into. But again, if somebody's really developed, they don't need the. But again, they're fun to use, and they're good tools. And you're right. If you look at the card, and it'll trigger something in your subconscious mind, and it floats up. So, but yeah, I never was a tarot. I did produce the first two videos I mentioned several times, and they were quite successful. And the reason the content's still good. I lost the what do you call it? The rights to market it, because I had to deal with Rider Waite. I think Rider Waite. Yeah, they're big tarot. I don't know if they're still around. Rider Waite cards, decks. But at the time, they were the biggest decks. So I had a marketing agreement with Rider Waite to use their cards in the videos, and then it expired, and I never, I had my own stuff. So that's the reason. I still have copies of them, but I stopped marketing and selling them because I lost I didn't re-sign up with them. They wouldn't go, so that's where those went. That's why you have not seen them. You haven't found them lately on my site.
Well, they were great videos along with the others, and as we're approaching the end of the show here, tell the folks where they can find your stuff, what kind of products you offer, and your website, which will also be in the podcast description, where people can just click on it or copy and paste if they want to look at some of your products. But tell them a little bit about the what you have to offer over there.
Yeah, the easiest way is just Google Steve Murray by itself, or Steve Murray Reiki, or Steve Murray Psychic, and use the same thing on Amazon. Amazon's carried my titles for a lot of, like, say, over 20 years. And I just released a new, well, actually it's not out yet, so I think I gave you a copy of it, How to Become a 21st Century Reiki Master. That's a new DVD. Streaming will be out in 2 weeks. And then learn how to contact the dead step by step. That came out a few months ago. That's on Amazon and streaming. And then I had a new book last year, How to Become a 21st Century Reiki Master. And that's what the movie was based off, that book. And then I had a best-selling book, and still sells well, Reiki the Ultimate Guide, Volume 1. And I released that a lot of years ago. And it still sells today, but I updated that last year. And if you get the books, you get free downloads. Isn't that? So basically, in my website, it's just healingreiki.com, HealingReiki.com. And I have courses on the website, certification courses to be Reiki, a medium. So I got 7 or 8, 9 courses. I have probably like 50 titles, books, and DVDs, combination. They could be digital. So yeah, I have a lot of stuff. I've accumulated a lot of my work over the years, and I might do another book or video next year. I don't know yet. Like I said, I came out of retirement with these new projects 2-3 years ago, because I mentioned to you, Paul, which I'm helping raise. I have a 2.5-year-old son. He keeps me busy. So being busy, being up, I thought, well, I'll come out of retirement and just do some new projects. So, but yeah, my website, or go to Amazon, just Google me. You'll find out. I'll come up pretty quick, because, like I said, I've been around for a long time. But I appreciate that also. And you can email. If you want to email me, you go to the website and click, and I'll answer any questions people have. I'm good at following. Within a couple of days, I try to follow up with people as much as I can.
And before we sign off, I just want to kind of, for me personally, vouch for your products. If people are looking to, learn healing, or, connecting with spirits, and all those things, it's not a lot of Hollywood mumbo jumbo. It's not a lot of, as I always say, spiritual and mental gymnastics. There's some people, the meditations and all the crazy things they tell you to do. There's none of this outlandish stuff. It's simple.
Yeah, all rivers lead to the ocean. So I've kept it simple when I started. I try to keep, in fact, my self-help stuff has been very, very, I keep it simple because I like simple, and I didn't get too esoteric at times, and I can, but again, I try to teach for the not the masses, you could say. So keep it simple to understand. And so yeah, my books, my teachings are very easy to understand. So I've been pinned with that throughout my career, and that's all I've done. That's my whole career. That's how I've made my living, helping people help themselves. So I've been blessed to that some people have found my products and books and have bought them, and so I'm blessed. I've made a living doing what I love to do. Made a living doing what I am, a spiritual psychic, helping people help themselves. A teacher.
Yeah. And it's a good way to be. Like I said, it's simple, it's to the point, and it gets results. And I can vouch for that. So, if you're interested in any of those things, head on over to healingreiki.com and take a look at what Steve has to offer. But this is going to end episode 1. And again, I appreciate you coming on, Steve, and talking about these things.
Yeah, it's been great. So we'll talk again soon.
All right. Well, again, thanks for coming on, and I hope everyone enjoyed the show. Until next time, stay safe, stay well, and I'll talk to you next time here on the Spirit Side.